Hey, my beautiful Panther familia. Thank you for joining me today here at Miss Pink Panther. My name is Cassie, Cassandra, or just Pink Panther, whatever you want to call me. So today I'm going to be doing something a little different. Now, I know that I've been having this channel already for a month, and thank you for all the subscribers I have and for all the people who have viewed my channel till now. And I realized that nobody on here really knows anything about me unless you know me in person. So I'm gonna go ahead and FaceTime a friend of mine today, and I'm gonna have her ask me any questions she wants. These can be personal questions, these can be very awkward questions, these can be very random. Whatever she wants to pick on the top of her head is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and call her really quick and we'll go ahead and get started. But before that, I just want to say, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell to get notified every time my channel comes up for a new video. And let's get to it. So my friend just answered, and her name is Michelle. I won't disclose her last name just for personal reasons. Now, if you have any questions that you would like to know after this video, go ahead and put it down in the description below, and I'd be more than happy to answer. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and show the palette I'm going to be using. This is the Fruit Pie Filling UNCANBE. Now, I'm just going to open this up really quick, show whatever I have inside of here. It comes with a little booklet here, and it says more surprises, and it gives off to the links of their websites, and I will be showing the colors. These are the colors on here, so I will just pick and choose as I'm going. So Michelle, if you want to go ahead and get started, I don't know if you want to say hi really quick.
Hi everybody.
She's a little camera shy. Okay, Michelle, go ahead and ask any question you want.
Okay. When you're having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better?
That's a good question. I basically go and find my kids and squish them, squeeze them, make them laugh. That's mostly my joy there. Other than that, I would have to say I do my makeup, because who wouldn't do it when they're bored and they have nothing else to do and they're kind of sad and depressed and they want to make themselves feel beautiful. Okay, ask anything you want.
Which would be harder for you to give up, coffee or alcohol?
Definitely coffee.
What?
Yeah, I can give up alcohol easily. I've done it for years. I think, honestly, coffee's a little harder for me to give up.
How many days do you wear the same pants in a row before it becomes a problem?
Before it becomes a problem. Now, I have to say, back then, when I was a teenager, I would use them for like 5 days in a row, not even lying. And then as I got older,
Ew.
I know it's gross. I know it's gross. But as I got older, I would probably see like around 17, 18 years old, I would use them probably twice at most. And then I just throw them in the washer.
If you were told you only had 1 week left to live, what would you do?
What would I do? If I only had 1 week to live. I can't even do my makeup answering these questions. It's hard.
I told you.
If I had 1 week to live, I would like to go to the middle of the ocean where the salt water and the fresh water separate. I think that's just so incredible that it never mixes together. I would love to see that in real life before I die. That was a hard one.
What's your dream job?
My dream job was to become a veterinarian, but I honestly ended up getting pregnant at the age of 16 with my son. I was not very clever back then, obviously. And I just ended up giving up everything for him. I had tried going to a veterinarian technician, but I had some issues going on with an ex and I was no longer able to continue. So I left that, and my dream job now is to become just an honest person and to become anything that brings joy with makeup and to show the world how beauty can help with self-esteem and just show the positivity in life.
If you had to live in a different state, which one would it be?
If I had to live in a different state, that's a good one. These questions are hard.
It's because you're thinking of makeup and questions.
I know, but I feel like I can't multitask and I should be able to. If I can live anywhere upstate, I can't really think of one, to be honest, because Texas is like my state home of like heart. That's not somewhere where I can leave so easily, because I have before, and let's just say it was not a good thing that happened in my life. It was extremely traumatizing and it was not worth it. So I can't say I would want to live anywhere other than Texas, honestly.
What song do you have to sing along to when you hear it?
Rihanna, Take a Bow. Every time I hear it, no matter if it's so far in the distance, as soon as I hear it, I just have to sing it. The words just start spilling out. I don't even try.
Do you feel like a leader or a follower?
I definitely feel more as a leader. I can say that I do follow at times and I catch myself and then I start telling myself, I don't want to be like everybody else. I'd rather do my own thing and just try to be positive in life. That's a good one though.
What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Accomplishment, I would honestly say of making the right choice, of choosing the right person for myself and for my kids. It might not seem as a big accomplishment to a lot of people, but it definitely changes your life when you find that right person that gets you and wants to get to know you and just tries everything in their power to make you happy. Obviously with teamwork.
What's the one food you could never bring yourself to eat?
Papayas. I can't. Can you eat
Ew.
that? Okay, good. So I'm not the only person here who can't stand it.
What about shrimp?
Shrimp, I can, but only if it's fried. Like really, really fried.
Where would your perfect vacation be at?
Chicago during wintertime. I have not visited there and I really want to go. Only because I've heard nothing but good things about it, besides all the extra snow that goes there. But I absolutely love the cold.
If you could ask your pet 3 questions, what would they be?
Do you love me? How much do you love me? Do you want anything else? I'm a dog lover.
What's the first thing you do when you get home from a trip?
I actually just came back from my old hometown the day before yesterday, and that's kind of the reason why I haven't been able to put up a whole video in a week. So the first thing I honestly do is I put everything away, get everything ready for the night for my little baby or for my son, and I take a shower and go straight to sleep, because the drive alone is about 5.5 hours long from where I live now, and it's long and it's fussy with the kids and you're just exhausted by the time you get home.
What was the funniest way that you've ever been injured?
Oh my goodness, I don't even want to say this one. This one's so embarrassing. Okay, so one time when I was 15 years old, oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. One time when I was 15 years old, my mom ended up wanting me to go over to my aunt's house. Now, my aunt's house lived in the street behind us. So, oh my goodness, this is going to sound a little gross, and I'm sorry, but I said I wouldn't hide anything. So I ended up going to my aunt's house, and she had her door locked. And the reason why we went over is because she wanted us to get something from the backyard, the back door inside the house. And she's like, I have the keys there. She said that they were in the front, and they weren't there after all. So my mom's like, you need to cross the gate because now your aunt's telling me that the keys are in the back under a pot. I was like, okay. So this is the fence. This is the fence right here. And it has a little handle, let's just say right here. So my mom's like, put one foot here and I'll hold it. And then you can flip the foot over across the fence. Now this fence had the V-tip on top. So I'm over here like, okay, Mom, I trust you. You're going to hold me. So I put one foot where the door handle was, and she starts gripping it because then I would obviously snap the door handle to the gate. Now, when I cross over, her phone rings and she drops me. So I literally go straight down the fence like this. And I ended up falling over to the other side. And she's literally like on the phone and she's talking and talking. No, my mom did this like, whew, I was so small, and she didn't intentionally do it. It was just more of a reaction. And I'll never forget that I ended up having to go rushing into the hospital because I obviously was injured in that area and it was not fun. And the first thing I remember my mom telling the doctors was, "Can she still have children?" And all I remember thinking in my head is, "You're thinking about kids right now and I'm over here in pain." Yeah, but that's my worst one.
If you could be any animal, what would it be?
If I could be any animal, what would I be? I would want to be a shark, only because I get to discover the deepest, darkest secrets of the water. I think that'd be so cool.
What food have you never eaten but would really like to try?
Squid. I know it sounds so gross, but I'm honestly so interested in the Japanese food or the Chinese food. Obviously not with the whole thing that's going on right now, but I've always been interested to see what it tastes like, only because they make it look so good, especially onto like sushi and stuff. I know, don't hate me for it.
Do you think that aliens exist?
Do I think that aliens exist? I will say that we have not discovered everything in our world or whatever there is out there, but I will say that I believe that we are not the only things here. I don't want to say things. I want to say we're not the only creatures that are here on the planet that we've discovered so far. That's my main belief.
Which is one celebrity you would like to meet?
One celebrity that I would like to meet, Rihanna. I think she's just absolutely stunning and I love her voice, and she's just such a positive person. So if I had to pick anybody, it would honestly be her.
What was cool when you were young but isn't cool now?
Okay, so I'm a 90s baby. I was born in the year 94, and I would have to say would be the neck collars that were the thing back then. They were like these little plastic strings, basically like entwined, and then you put them on your neck, and you used to like put like your little jewel on it and wear them at school and everything. And like now nobody wears them. I know, I'm so old school.
What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever bought?
The most ridiculous thing I've ever bought. Let's see. I've always actually been rational about the things I buy, but I would have to say I bought myself a $300 pair of heels. And the only reason why I got them is because they're stilettos, and back then heels were my life. They still kind of are. I'm not even gonna joke around about that. They are still my life, but back then I was overly obsessive with shopping for heels.
What made you get into makeup?
I used to be the girl back then that would put on 80 pounds of makeup and go to your friend's house birthday party and think that I look really pretty and everything. And not that I did it for attention, it's more as in I just did it more for myself. And then like 6 years later, I find out that I'm the girl that had the really thick blue eyeshadow, the really dark maroonish reddish lipstick, and with super circular blush circles. I just had to say that I just fell in love with makeup from a young start. I've always liked and enjoyed messing around and experimenting, and I just want to show now that I know how to do makeup and that I know that I actually have an artistic hand, that I can show other people that nobody starts off perfect. Nobody. I don't care who you are, what you say, or what you think. Nobody's going to start off perfect. We all have our flaws, and it's good to know that with a little bit of practice, you can always get better.
Where's your go-to restaurant for amazing food?
Raising Cane's. My fiance got me super addicted to Raising Cane's.
If you could have any superpower, which one would it be?
It would definitely be invisibility. It's good to know secrets, but it's better to know that you don't know. Or, no, I take it back. It's better to know when other people don't know that you know. Does that make sense?
What languages do you wish you could speak?
German and Russian. Definitely Russian. But I would honestly have to say my number one would be Japanese. I honestly do want to learn, but with 2 kids around the house and you trying to listen to a video on your own is really hard.
How do you make yourself go to sleep when you can't seem to get sleep?
Oh man, that's every night. I honestly feel like I have, what's that called? Insomnia? I rarely honestly get a good night's sleep. Even more right now that I have a little one and she wakes up every other hour of the hour on the dot. And my little boy, that boy, he's so good. He sleeps all on his own. He tucks his bed. He makes his bed. But for me to honestly sleep, I just basically read books on my phone. Just basically to kill time till my eyes get tired and then I end up knocking out. But I'm a very light sleeper, honestly.
What type of dish is your favorite at cooking?
My favorite dish would be mole. If you don't know what that is, it's a Mexican dish. You basically cook it with chicken breast, chop it off into pieces, and you use a mole sauce that you can buy at any grocery store. And you make it with rice on the side, and you can also make it with a small little salad on the side also. But that is like my main to-go, that it's easy to make, fast to make, and everybody enjoys a good meal.
Do you know how to drive?
No! As embarrassing as that sounds, I do not know how to drive. I kind of ended up having a little traumatizing incident when I was pregnant with my son when I was really young, but I am currently trying to learn right now. I won't lie.
What's the most awkwardest situation you've been in?
I've been in a lot of awkward situations. Let's see. Oh, I was 14 years old and I went to Slitterbond with my friend Yvette and he said and their parents, and we went to Slitterbond, and you know that ride like that's at the very end where it's basically, it does a wave, a water wave in a small section, and you grab a diving one of those it's a diving board, right? Yeah, a diving board. Not a diving board, surfboard, a miniature surfboard, and you get on the water. And one time I went and I was in shorts and a top bathing suit, and when I got on, my strap ended up getting loose from the pressure of the water, and I literally stood up with my top bathing suit basically around my stomach. That was so embarrassing. That was the most awkwardest thing I've ever been through.
Have you been to any concert?
I have not, but I would love to go to a Luke Bryan concert soon.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? I believe that there are things here that we should not be messing with, as in the like the Ouija board. That is something I will definitely say that is not recommended for a lot of reasons.
Do you believe you have good luck or bad luck?
I won't say that I believe or don't believe in luck. I will say more as in you put yourself in the situations you're in. You need to think of how the situation's gonna happen after you do what you do. Basically, everything you do, all your actions come with consequences, and you need to think if the consequences are worth what you're doing. So it's not a matter of luck. It's more of a matter of you being smart or you just doing something because you want to do it.
What food do you crave most often?
Raspas. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like shaved ice with a syrup on top for you to eat.
Do you enjoy being at the beach?
Yes, absolutely. I love the water. I wasn't swimming, and let's just say that once I'm in the water, it's hard to get me out.
What's your secret talent?
My secret talent, as you know, my name is Miss Pink Panther. I can actually do a roar of the Panther. Should I do it? Oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. Okay, so my roar goes like this. There.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color, as obvious as it can be, it's on my hair, it's pink. Oh, pink and lime green. I know, I love watermelon too, so those are my two main colors.
Do you prefer online shopping or shopping at the store?
It depends. If it's clothes, obviously I would prefer in person. But for everything else, I would have to say I'd prefer to buy it online. Amazon is like my main place. If you can buy it on there, I'll just get it from there.
If you owned a restaurant, what kind of food would you serve?
What kind of food would I serve? That's a good question. I would honestly like to do Japanese cuisine. I think it's so complex and so interesting and so different from what I'm used to.
How ambitious are you?
Very. When I start something, I like to finish it, and if not, I like to continue till I'm done.
If you could own any car, what would it be?
Now, if I had to pick any car, I would honestly get myself the Tilvari. Now, if you don't know what that car is one car that was created, the only car in the entire world. It's spelled Tovari. Now, my dad has spoken about that car for as far back as I could remember, and he uses that for everything. So I would honestly like to own it just because it's one in a million.
What do you do to relieve stress?
What do I do to relieve stress? I work out. I work out when I can because it's a good way to relieve stress without honestly taking it out on someone else that doesn't deserve to be screamed at, yelled at, or thrown something at.
Which way should toilet paper hang, over or under?
Which side is over? Okay, so let's see, if the toilet paper roll is, let's see if you can see this plastic. The paper's hanging out this way, it has to be this way. I think that's over. Yeah, I think that's over. If it's under, who pulls it under like that? Like, isn't that complicating? Really?
Yes.
You don't think that's complicating?
No.
I feel like you struggle more that way. I guess it's just me.
What's the most physically painful thing you've ever experienced?
As much as a lot of people already know this and a lot that don't, I've had a total of 4 miscarriages. And I can honestly say that that is a lot more painful than labor. And it's just something that is very harsh to the body itself. And it's extremely, excruciatingly painful. Now, that would have to be my number 1.
Do you prefer horror movies or funny comedy movies?
To be completely honest, I prefer horror movies. I just love the adrenaline, I guess. But I'm trying to keep away from it because I notice that my kids are watching them while I'm watching them. And it's not something that I want them to be thinking in the back of their mind. So I still have to say it's horror because I will be honest about it. But I do love comedy movies too.
What would you do as a person to make the world a better place?
What would I do? I would like to say first is for animals, love them, take care of them. If you can't take care of them, give them to someone who can. Be responsible. And for anything else, for those who are having a hard time even more because of this whole COVID-19, I would just like to say that my prayers go out to you all. And if there's anything that I could do, I would honestly love to help. But currently I'm in a situation where I can't help everybody in the world, obviously, but I would just like to show the positivity in life instead of showing all the bad. Because when there's more positive people in the world, there's more positive outcomes. Now, not everybody obviously is going to be on the same page, but we should at least try. I know, I feel like this video is so serious.
What values are most important to you?
Most important values to me personally would be family comes first. I've done a lot of cruel things to my family, not neglective kind of things, but more as in I have not always been the perfect child, and I've always done things my own way, and they don't always go in the way that I want them to because I'm a teenager or was a teenager, and I was learning through my own instincts instead of people who are experienced. And yeah, so I would have to say it's family. They will, if they tell you something, it's because they care. And if they tell you, listen to it because it's more than likely out of advice. And advice mostly comes from people that have experienced the situation or have come close to the situation, and they only want to help. So I would definitely say that family is my number 1 value.
How do you feel about putting pineapple on pizza?
I don't know how I would say I would feel about it because I've never done it and I don't eat Hawaiian pizza. So I won't eat it, but my fiance and my son love it.
What is your nickname that others call you?
Well, as my title goes, Miss Pink Panther, so it was Pink Panther, and if not, Cassie with a K and a Y. So Kassy.
Do you want another baby?
I do, but in the future, not right now. And probably in about another 2 years. Yeah, right now is not the time yet.
What has been the creepiest thing that has happened to you?
The creepiest thing that's ever happened to me was... Okay, so nobody's gonna believe me, but I'll go ahead and tell you anyways. I ended up having a porcelain doll. I don't know if you know what those are, but those are basically the dolls that are made out of glass and they wear very centric attire. So my mom ended up having this humongous one that's like the size of a 4-year-old child, and she had it on a pedestal in our home. Now, one night, me, my sister, my friend Valerie, Michelle, were you there?
Yeah, when it was outside your door.
Yep. And look, this is hearing it from someone else. So my parents went out to the movies, and it was just basically me, my sister, Michelle, and our other friend Valerie, and we were all stuck at my parents' home, and they were spending the night. And well, we were all messing around and stuff, and in my bedroom, and the doll itself is in the living room. Now, out of nowhere, the lights are going weird, and you literally hear stuff like slamming and crashing and stuff. It was so weird. So like we're all getting scared, and I'm the oldest out of the bunch. So I'm like, okay, I'll go check. And when I go into the living room area, everything's moved around. Nobody's home. My parents aren't home. The doors are locked, and the doll's not there in the section where it normally is. And I see it in the kitchen instead of the living room, and I literally just sprint off into my room, and I slam the door, and everyone's freaking out in their room, and they're like, what's wrong? I was like, it's the doll, it's the doll. And next thing you know, we hear a little knock on the door, and it's the doll. Do you remember what happened after that, Michelle?
No, it was just super scary. I would never want to sleep over again.
After that, nobody spent the night at our house for like the longest time of our lives. My sister and I always had to go spend the night at their houses because everybody was kind of traumatized of spending the night at our home. And we were calling my parents like crazy. I remember that I was calling them. You were trying to call your mom because you were scared. My friend Valerie and my sister were trying to call my mom too, and nobody was answering. So when they finally got home, they opened the door to our room, and Michelle, you, and our other friend Valerie's like, can you walk us to the door? So my parents walked you guys home, and you guys like ran home. Yeah, that had to have been the most creepiest thing that's ever happened to me. It was just too much. A lot of things have happened in the past in my parents' home. A lot of really crazy, weird things. And I'm not the only person that can tell you. This was proof from somebody who I didn't even look at or say anything to.
What's a body part that you wouldn't mind losing?
My stomach. That's an obvious note, my stomach. Or, yeah, I would have to say my stomach. Due to having baby fat and obviously a few stretch marks because I wasn't as careful as I should be while I was pregnant. I would want to get rid of that.
If you had to change your name, what would your new name be?
My new name would be, I would say Casey. Yeah, I do love my name, Cassandra. It's Kassandra. Cassandra. It's just out of force of habit. Whenever my parents call my name, if they say Cassie, like it's in good terms. But if somebody screams out Cassandra or Cassandra, it's because I'm gonna get yelled at, I'm gonna get my butt whooped, or something bad's coming to me.
Is makeup something you plan on doing for a long time?
Absolutely. That's not even a question to ask. That's an absolutely.
Do you plan on changing your hair color to another crazy color?
I did honestly want to. I wanted to try blue, but I'm getting too old. I know I'm only 25, But honestly, I have a little boy already who's thinking I'm already nuts and he doesn't want to show my face to his friends. And he's only 8 years old. He's like, Mom, you're too crazy. I'm like, I know. He's like, but can you put your hair back to brown already? I'm like, why? And he's like, it's just weird seeing you with pink hair. He's like, don't change your color anymore. I'm like, so can I just stay pink? And he's like, just for a little bit. I'm like, okay.
Would you ever get your lips done?
I absolutely want to. To be completely honest, I honestly want to do them. Now, will I ever do it? I do not know. That is a question that I don't have an answer to because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And if I ever feel the need to, that I really, 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 really want to, and I have the funds, I think I'll just go for it. Like, who doesn't want bigger lips? Okay, I'm not talking about like crazy Kardashian lips. I'm just talking about like a little fill.
Have you ever worn extensions?
No, I have not, but I have used wigs. I just love wigs. They're so much fun. And I know what you're thinking. Why bother use a wig when your hair is already a crazy color? Or why not just use wigs instead of painting your hair a crazy color? I have no idea why I do these things. I just do them. It was on my bucket list before I die, so.
Do you wear fake eyelashes?
Yes and no. For the most part, I honestly don't have to. I use mostly my natural lashes because they are already long. But also thanks to Babe Lash, they are growing longer. I don't have to use them. I just use them whenever I feel like I want to go all out. But even without them, I honestly don't need them. So, not really. I only use them mostly for when I go to like weddings or stuff like that. Like that's something that you obviously want to go all out for.
Who's your favorite sibling, Cristo or Mandito?
Who's my favorite sibling? I can't answer that. I just can't. I can't say I have a favorite. It's more as in full honesty, it's more as in they each have their positive and their negatives. My brother's very, very sweet, but very, 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 very naive. And there's just times where I'm trying to tell him something and he does the complete opposite because he doesn't understand what I'm saying. But for the most part, he's a very sweet, sweet brother. And for my sister, she's a wild child. She's the one that will tell you the way it is. And I think that's a strong note about her. And we used to get into really horrible, horrible fights growing up as a kid. And you're like my number one witness. We used to be really bad growing up. But ever since I had my kids and she became a mom herself, I think we've gotten a lot closer. So I can't really say I can pick or choose. I love them both the same. I just wish they wouldn't argue within ourselves so much. We don't really, but you know, it's like that sibling thing, and eventually it fades away when you get too old to argue.
What's your favorite part about doing makeup?
My favorite part is just showing the love about it. The love of makeup. It's not just something that I do to look pretty, because it's not. It's more as in this is something I just like to do for myself. I don't do it to show off for anybody. Obviously for my fiance, but I honestly don't need it. I don't have to use makeup if I don't want to. I don't have anybody else I want to impress. I've done what I've done in my past, and for this it's more as in I do it for myself now. I don't do it to please anybody else. I do it because I like it and I enjoy it, and I just want to show everybody the love of makeup. The fact that you can transform yourself into something completely different just by trying a little bit.
At what age would you let Sammy start using makeup?
18. No, I can't say that. But I would like to teach her the moderation of makeup. In other words, to use it in the proper way. As in, if you're going to school, do something subtle. Don't do crazy makeup like myself. I was pretty bad. But if you're going to an event or you're going out to weddings and stuff, well then obviously I want to show her how to properly use makeup.
What would you do with $1 million?
I would buy a house, I would buy my parents a house, and I would buy my in-laws a house, honestly. And then the house that I have, I'll give it to my kids when I get old. And then I'll just go travel the world after. That's if I have enough for 3 houses. But in all honesty, that's what I would do with $1 million. I would pay off the houses that my family already owns and let them own a new home.
Do you feel like you're in a good place mentally and physically?
I don't want to say physically because I've gained a few pounds and I honestly need to lose because this whole quarantine thing has me going bonkers. But emotionally, I have to say I'm honestly in one of the happiest state of minds that I've been in a very, 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 very long time. And I'm very happy where I am. I enjoy the things I do and I'm surrounded by loved ones and I don't argue. And I'm being very supportive and people are being very supportive on my end also. So I have to say that I'm very happy where I am right now.
All right. Finishing the last touch, everybody. Getting those Kylie Jenner lips, everybody.
I wish. Okay, I guess that's it for today's look. And I just want to say thank you so much, Michelle, for joining me today and for being on my video, even though you were on the video, but for speaking out and for asking me all these random personal questions. And I love you bunches and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye. And for everyone else out there, I just want to say thanks again for joining my channel. My name is Cassie or Miss Pink Panther. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notified every time my videos come up. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next time. Bye. Hey everyone, so I just realized that I didn't even show myself doing my lashes. So I actually just did my natural lashes. I used the Maybelline Stilettos mascara and this is basically what my finishing look is, and this is the close-up of what my look came out to be this time. I would have done a little more, but since I was on a short period of time for the video itself and my friend Michelle had to get some sleep, I had to cut it short, and I realized all late that I didn't even show myself finishing off the ending. So this is my look and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.